Welcome to another edition of the Soxcast, episode 13, and again, continuing with interviews with guys from this past summer. And these two guys, a dynamic duo out of Wagner College on Staten Island. These two pitchers both had very good years, guys that went under the radar when we talk about Rosie and a lot of other guys, but these two guys quietly put together very good summers. Again, guys coming from Wagner and although from opposite coast of the country, John LaPointe and Nick Hanson. Guys, finally good to get you on the show.
Yeah, it's good to have you. Thank you, Tim.
So obviously, Nick, I know is from, the West Coast. John, I know you're a New Yorker from Staten Island. So I know, and obviously, so Nick has obviously gotten acclimated with the East Coast now, being at Wagner. But going upstate to Utica, what were your first thoughts on the city and being in a different part of the state?
For me, it was a lot different. I wasn't really going from California. You got the beach, then going from the city. You got obviously the city, and I wasn't expecting what it was, but I grew to really like the city, grew to like the people. I thought it was actually a really good experience, and I loved everything about it. I still go back every once in a while, so it's nice.
Yeah, honestly, I really enjoy my time in Utica. It's definitely different than Staten Island, but it's a good different. It's good to get away from the city and the busyness and all that. But I really enjoyed my time, and I think the guys that we got to go and play with made it even better.
So, we've had some fun teams in the past, but in terms of things that like everyone kind of, gravitated towards as a team that really brought everybody together, like for me as, essentially director of entertainment and PA announcer, sound effects, all that, having that one thing that finally galvanized the whole team, Pump It Up, was such a huge thing. And obviously so we didn't do that opening night, but the first time when it was done, I think you two might have pitched in that game, if I'm not mistaken. So, what were your initial recollections of the first time it happened and watching that essentially, get a life of its own throughout the entire summer?
Nick, you want to take it or I'll go?
I'll go. No, I actually really liked it. I thought it was a great little thing we started, and then it kept going every game, and everyone seemed to like it. All the fans seemed to kind of enjoy hearing it. So, it was a pretty cool experience getting to hear that all the time whenever we scored or anything kind of cool happened. That was pretty awesome.
Yeah, and adding to what Nick said, coming into summer ball, you don't really know the guys, and then adding a song like Pump It Up, just some simple little thing like that really started getting guys gluing together and really coming together as a group, as a team, honestly. And one of the first memories I had was probably with either Schmack or Chasey, and these are two kids that I wouldn't know from a hole in the wall, and it's just something as simple as pumping our fists to the song or throwing our hands up in the air. It brought us closer for some odd reason, honestly, but I'm thankful that it did, for sure.
And in terms of other things that, brought the team together, John, throughout the course of the summer, it was you who was at the center of it with your impression of me, if you will. So before you guys would play on the road, and I believe you do it at home games, while I'm doing it in the process as well. But the Blue Day intro, I know it was something different I wanted to try, and I didn't realize how big it was until I found out from Ryan Enos that every time you guys went on the road, you would do it before, the home team would take the field for the first inning. So where did that start? Why? And, did you ever think it was that big of a deal then?
Honestly, I'm not 100% sure when it started, but I always personally liked it. I liked when you did it. I felt like it always fired me up personally. And then I just think one of the games in the middle of the summer, we're coming from a long college season, and guys were starting to get a little down or getting a little, I don't know, lackadaisical. And I was just we need a little pick me up. So I was just all about having fun, and I just gave my impression to you, and then it carried over from that game to the next. And then whenever you did it, I just would do the voiceover. I wouldn't actually say it. I would let you take all the credit, and then I would just kind of act and give like an on-field performance of it.
Yeah, because obviously no one is going to see me up in the booth doing it because I'm all the way on the top of the first base bleachers, basically away from everybody. So, and especially if you're over on the third base side, nobody could see me. So, but with that being said, though, you know, I don't think I ever officially heard your impression of the Blue Day intro. So, you know, I think the fans deserve to hear it too, for those that haven't for some reason. So I don't know if you're ready for it. I don't know if I'm putting you on the spot, but I think that all Blue Sox Nation deserves to hear this.
No, Blue Sox Nation absolutely deserves to get a little preview of it. Tim, I want to say I have it all down, but I don't want to offend you if I don't get the exact wording. All right.
I won't. If you get, I mean, it's been, listen, it's been 6 months.
I have the main parts. That's all I got to.
Okay. All right. Yeah. All right. We're all ready, man. We're all ready.
Utica, don't you dare be sour. Clap for your 2019 Western Division champs and feel the power. It's a blue day. Yes, it is.
This is what we want. You know what? I'm not a rook. I'm not gonna, you know, keep it single numbers. I'm not a big Barstool guy either, but like I respect Portnoy's rating system. I like decimals. I'm gonna give it an 8.9. That was very, very solid, and you know, I'm a stickler. So 8.9, that's very high up. And I gotta commend you for that. And I can't even imagine just how electric it was just being on the field and, you know, having the rest of the team here. It would have fired me up at least.
Yeah, it was always a good time, and I appreciate the score because, like you said, Portnoy is a good guy, and he knows what he's doing. So I think you know what you're doing too.
So, you know, you two, again, like I said in the intro, you guys are a dynamic duo, and more often than not, you guys pitched in the same games. And again, and you two were also sneaky good where your number, you know, you might not have had, you know, the showmanship of a guy like Rosencrantz or Chasey or Flahy or even Figueroa, but you guys were sneaky good. And when you two pitched on the same day, more often than not, the squad would come out with a win. So, you know, was it comfortable for you guys to, you know, pitch in the same game? Was there something, you know, like where LaPointe was more comfortable starting or and Hanson coming out of relief or vice versa? You know, and I might as well start with Nick on that one in terms of, you know, your overall thoughts on that.
I mean, we both kind of argued over it whenever we wanted to. Sometimes I wanted to start. Sometimes he wanted to start. It's kind of a game time decision, I would say, most of the time. But it was just kind of, it felt pretty comfortable. The pitching at home kind of got a little nerve-wracking. Got a lot of people there. First pitch strikes. Didn't like to start at home, but felt the clapping. But besides that, usually John would start at home. I'd try to take the away ones or vice versa. But it ended up working out pretty well. Glad we each got like victories on both our records. Obviously, we pitched pretty well whenever we threw away or at home. Got a lot of wins, which I was glad about. But it just seemed like everything kind of fell in place whenever we pitched, and it was nice. It was pretty good. You know, you're going to get a lot of runs every time. It felt pretty comfortable out there.
Yeah, I have to agree with Nick. Like he said, it was definitely a back and forth argument on who's throwing on what day and who's starting in what spot. And like he said, he definitely had the jitters, the first pitch jitters when he pitched at home. So I like to pitch at Murdane for sure. And yeah, I mean, it's always fun pitching with one of your like closest friends from school. And it was definitely comfortable knowing he either had my back or I had his back. And like he said, we always had a good amount of run support whenever we went out and threw for whatever reason it may be. And like we preach at school, just throw strikes and do your job out there. And that's what we did all summer, honestly.
So I got to ask also, so, you know, as Nick alluded to, you know, John was more on the starting side and like, you know, pitching more at home. And the song that you warmed up to, John, was the EDM remix of the classic from High School Musical, Breaking Free. I mean, the funny thing was, you know, you and I came to like an agreement, like, you know, we do that during starts versus relief, but you eventually you just like, I want to keep this all the way through. So how did that come about and choosing that classic but in a different style?
So it came about my freshman year of college. I think all colleges kind of have the tradition of seniors picking freshman walkout songs, and yeah, so that's what the seniors on my squad went with that year. And so when I went to Utica, I was like, oh, it's only right to bring it back. It's summer ball. It's good to have fun again. Like, you're getting out, you're getting your work in, and honestly, like, it's not so much about you in summer ball. Like, we're there and all the fans were coming out to support us. So I was like, you know what? I want to give a song that will get the younger kids into it, the younger generation into it. And even like the adults, like seeing their kids have a good time. Hopefully when my song will come on, it's a song that people could recognize. So, and I thought the EDM version, it's not something like basic and like kids, you can't really make fun of it. Like, I'm out there being myself and having a good time. And that's what the guys on the team like. I know Fairbro loved it, and a bunch of the other guys on the team liked it, so I'm glad I stuck with it.
So, and I know Nick had, I mean, not to discredit Nick, I mean, Nick had some bangers too. I mean, Uproar by Lil Wayne, great selection. Snoop Doggy Dogg. I mean, that was, I know that's what you started with. I mean, again, bangers. And I feel like most of the squad had some bangers for their walk-up music, but I really want to know favorites and least favorites. I mean, because I feel like there's very few that you might not have, liked at all. I mean, there were some you kind of just like, really? But I really want to know, what were your personal favorites and least favorites from some of your teammates this year?
I would say my favorite, I like John's a lot. Obviously, he's my teammate. I would say I actually really like Gio's. I thought Gio's pretty good. But on the least favorite side, I kind of forgot what Flay Hives was, but I just know it probably wasn't too good. So I'm gonna go with that one.
Yeah, that was more for him because he's trying to pump himself up.
For sure. I think I had to go with least favorite Flay Hive. Most likely, yeah.
Yeah, for me, I'm gonna have to say my favorite had to be Enos's. Whenever Levitating came on, I would definitely be excited. I knew Rhino was up, and I knew something crazy was going to happen regardless of a bunt down the third base line, a leadoff home run, a leadoff single, walk, whatever it was. But I just know people enjoyed that one. And least favorite, I'm gonna have to go with anything Kyle Schmack had. Anything Kyle Schmack walked up to, I couldn't do it.
I mean, he did swap out Sandstorm towards the end of the year, which I thought was, I don't know. Sandstorm, great song, but as a walk-up, I don't know. There are certain things that, like, they're great songs overall, but they, for some reason, just don't work out as walk-ups. There are some songs that are just plain awful, but they work as walk-ups. I mean, case in point, Fairbro with Love Story. I don't know why that worked, but it did.
It worked. Some guys got their particular songs that they like, and some of them work and some of them don't.
So, I mean, obviously, there are a lot of games that were, big time, turning points, just overall, just galvanizing moments, that really rallied the team. The day before the 4th of July, I talked about this with a bunch of other guys against Watertown. Had you ever been a part of a game where you had 3 different rain delays in the same half inning and in such crucial spots, first and foremost?
Can't say I have.
So what was the overall vibe like? I mean, you're trying to come back. I think you were down 2 going into the bottom of the 9th, and the guy who was pitching against you guys from Watertown at that point was just dominating. Peter Jones, I believe his name was. But in the bottom of the 9th, eventually I learned, John at some point got rally caps, and by rally caps I'm talking like 10 of them stacked on his head, which that got some hits over the summer. But from your dugout perspective, I mean, you guys are trying to build a rally, but, what do you remember just from the frustration of building a rally, rain delay, still building it, rain delay, and it happened again later on?
I mean, I remember more the pitcher just getting more and more upset every time. I think that kind of fired everybody else up when you saw him like hit a guy or walk a guy, rain delay, we get somebody on, then John would throw another hat or two, get the whole team going. everybody kind of fed off the energy of him getting pissed, and we wanted to kind of get back at him, and everyone in the dugout was just kind of getting back into it. I think it was John especially running around up and down, jumping up, having a good time. Like this lightened everyone's mood up a little bit, kind of relaxed everybody, and it was a kind of a really cool memory. I think I'll never had that in a game, 3 Wranglers and really 2 innings.
Yeah, like I said before, like I'm all about having fun, and that's my personality, and joking around and not taking things so serious. Like, yeah, it's a game. We want to win, and I think like guys got to stay loose, and that's what I just tried to do. Keep everyone loose, keep everyone up. Like, it's easy to go get frustrated, like as the other pitcher was. Like, okay, our batters still got to deal with it too. So I was trying to keep everyone in a loose, positive attitude, and whatever way I could help, I did it. I mean, Hanson said it. I was running up and down the dugout, or putting hats on my head, and I'm trying to talk to like people right next to the dugout and just make sure like the people that stuck around like got to see a win out of it. I mean, the Utica loyal fans out there were great this summer, and they deserve to win that game.
Oh yeah, I not to mention, I knew I needed to I mean, you were already doing enough work, Bob. Like I gotta do my part too, and like just keeping you guys loose during the rain delay. I mean, I threw on the Harlem Shake, which like turning the clock to 2013. I know you, Chasey, and Gio really got into it. And then I channeled the Blue Day thing, although I changed the script a little bit to Taylor, for alluding to the walk-off that was going to happen a few pitches later with Ramo drawing the walk-off walk. But I mean, that was big, but let's talk about Pink Night. I mean, I know you guys had pitched the night before in Oneonta. So you guys kind of got to just sit back and relax and watch your team just decimate Auburn to take back first place, temporarily in the division. You guys have ultimately won it in the end, which I'll get to in a second. But, tell me what, memories of Pink Night, the way you watched, your offense dominate, the way Rosie dominated, and just overall maybe the best team win of the year.
Pink Night, I mean, I was on radar gun all game, so I was in the bleachers, but all I could hear was the fans stomping their feet every time. It seemed constant because we kept scoring runs every inning. Rosie just was shutting them down every inning. It was really firing everybody up in the dugout, and even the fans were getting really into it. I mean, I wish I could be in the dugout for that game because it seemed one of the best games of the year, but sadly stuck under the bleachers, holding up the radar gun for 9 innings.
Yeah, that's what happens when you're one of the youngest guys on the team. Sorry, bud. But I thought Pink Night was awesome. I think it was a great night for a great cause. And honestly, Rosie's story was awesome. I mean, I believe his grandma was 2-time breast cancer survivor.
Mm-hmm.
And to see like how she was doing so well and able to come from far away to see him go out and pitch like that was awesome. And I think credit to him, because I know he wasn't sure what his role was going to be in the summer, whether Coach Schmack at Valpo wanted him to be a starter, be a closer, be a reliever. And I think he really bought into whatever role Coach Doug had out there for him, and he dominated, honestly. And it was awesome to see. Our hitters gave the fans a great performance, and I had a lot of fun and a lot of laughs. So it was awesome.
Not to mention in the 9th inning, I mean, was Harris's catch in the 9th inning the best catch you'd ever seen live?
Yes, hands down.
There, for sure.
I mean, I just remember, I think it was you, LaPointe, and a bunch of other guys. I think Hanson was in that, group as well. That was, when you have to salute a catch that was just an absolute gem, and especially one that probably came at a physical price because of the full extension, the full leap, and I can't even imagine how much his gut must have hurt coming down on that grass.
Yeah, no, that was awesome.
So, you as a staff, you root for your fellow pitchers. And the one night where I think everyone kind of rallied around one guy, it was also against Auburn, and it was for Ryan Figueroa. I mean, this was a guy who came in not really knowing what to expect out of him, but towards the end of the year got hot. And in his last appearance, 7 shutout innings in a game. Again, I don't think he pitched more than 3 before that. So what was it like just watching his performance and just shoving inning after inning after inning, only allowing 1 hit, not allowing a walk and striking out 8 to just manhandle that Auburn squad.
That was pretty cool. I think Ryan really, obviously he did. He really destroyed in that game. He just kind of kept going. You thought, all right, when's he going to cool down? It just never happened. He kept striking everybody. He kept throwing strikes, getting outs. It was pretty incredible to watch. I mean, I think 7 innings, 1 hit. That's unbelievable, especially out of a reliever who's never thrown more than 3 all summer. He goes out and throws 7. I thought it was a really awesome game for him. I really enjoyed watching it. I thought it was something really special.
Yeah, Hanson pretty much hit the nail on the head right there. I mean, it was awesome to watch, especially like he said, only pitching max 3 innings before. And that was definitely a credit to Ashley, the trainer, and him. Like they both knew how to get him ready before games, and they knew how to work together. And he was ready to come out against Auburn in the pen if we needed to in that playoff game. But he got his mind and body right to lead up to that game, and it was awesome to see that first performance, though.
So the game where the next night you guys clinched the playoff spot against Watertown. I mean, you want to talk about, which is a great pitching performance that against Auburn. This is the complete opposite, whereas the offense just dominating. I know that, as pitchers, you like watching other pitchers do well because, that's our craft, and I like seeing, when our guys do well. But what was it like watching the offense just inning after inning after inning, just pounding Watertown's, starters and then their relievers that came in after?
It was great. Like you said, it was just like hit after hit after hit. It seemed like everybody would just go up there and smack a base hit somewhere. It was really cool to watch. I mean, it's really easy for a pitcher. You just get to go up there and throw it. Doesn't really matter what you do. You got so many runs. And even if I was pitching, I feel super comfortable. It seemed like all the hitters all really clicked that night. I think we did quite a few times this season where we just scored a bunch of runs. It seemed like it's just like hit after hit after hit. It was pretty awesome.
Yeah, I mean, like Hanson said again, I mean, he's hitting the nail on the head. As pitchers, it's fun to watch a good game here and there, but an offensive explosion you can never go wrong with, because as pitchers, you have all the confidence in the world. And credit to the whole lineup, honestly. Kyle, Harris, Louis, Eddie even was hitting the ball everywhere that night. Towards the end, all those guys got hot. I mean, Harris and Kyle and Louis were consistent all summer, but guys like Eddie, guys like Angel, Jeff, guys who maybe had struggled a little bit, they all started. I think each one of those 3 that I just named had a hit that night, and it was fun to watch for sure.
So, I mean, it was historic in a couple of ways. Number one, I wish I knew it at the time, but during that onslaught, I think Lou got a hit in each of the first 3 or 4 innings, which moved him into first all time in the history of the Blue Sox on the hits list, which was a record that I didn't think was ever going to get broken. And he did it in, I think, 27 fewer games than the previous record holder, which, again, it's bewildering for a guy that hit 365 in 3 years as a Blue Sox, which is absolutely bonkers. But we talk about historic. You guys broke the single game runs record that night, and you guys tied it at 19 in the 5th. And then in the 6th inning, for Angel DiFederico to break the record with a home run, try to paint that picture for me, what you guys saw and how nuts it was for the record to be broken in the way in which it was.
I mean, Angel's dingle really was not have much pop, it seemed like, until he put that one out of there. He really put a good swing on it. I thought it was really awesome. Everyone was going crazy, especially in the dugout. It was pretty cool. It was pretty cool.
It was almost like Hanson said again, he's hitting all the points tonight. He's taking the words right out of my mouth. Angel's a base hit up the middle guy, base hit over the third baseman's head type of guy. And then he makes things happen on the base path. But to see a kid like that hit a home run, especially like you said, break a record and make it a historic night in Utica, I mean, it's always a good thing to see special things happen on the baseball field.
So, the expression goes, all things have to come to an end. All good things have to come to an end, I should say. And that ending, unfortunately, came in Auburn in a game that really should have been held in Utica, but unfortunately couldn't because of a double booking. But from your perspective, was it just one of those nights where, chalk it up to, it's just baseball, we had a bad night, and, that bad night was at a bad time. So, I mean, whatever you guys' thoughts on a tough loss to end the season against Auburn, you can boil it down to it however you want. Again, this is a free platform, and definitely want your thoughts on, again, what happened out in Auburn that ended up ending your season.
I think it was just a bad game in general. Anybody can beat anybody on any given day. So, whatever happens, I think we played one of our not our best game that year. Obviously, we lost. That pitcher ended up throwing really well. It was really I thought we were going to go in there. Everyone thought we were going to go in there with a win, which was really nice, but it was really upsetting when everyone lost. I don't think anyone was really expecting to go home the next day or in the near future, which was pretty upsetting. We had to say bye to everybody, which was a lot more upsetting than everyone thought it was going to be. I thought we got really, really close over the year from the first day we walked into those apartments or where everyone stayed to the last day. I thought everyone became really, really close, which is super sad to see when we all ended up having to hug goodbye on the Auburn field instead of ours winning a championship.
Yeah, I think a lot of things tie into it. I definitely don't think we played our best game of the summer for sure. It's baseball though, like Hanson said. Anyone could beat anyone on any given day. And I think Auburn, in all the games that we played them in, Auburn just plays better. I don't know. It must be something with them liking their home field. Obviously, everyone likes home field advantage, but it's always a tough place to play because the ball doesn't seem to travel too much, and balls that we think we put a jolt into at Auburn don't seem to go anywhere. So hits were like at a limited that day, and I think I just think it's the way the ball fell that day. It was unfortunate. The game should have been at home, but at the end of the day, things happen for a reason, and I don't know why our reason was to lose that day, but there's got to be a main plan somewhere. So
I only heard. I wish you could have seen the visuals, but I heard there was like not even 100 people at Falcon Park that night.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Their fans, they just did not have very many fans. But a lot different at Utica's field, Renane.
Yeah, that place would have been packed to the brim. You probably would have had upwards, bare minimum 1,000, probably 2,000, especially on a Friday night in Utica. That was the show in town. We were going to put on a show, especially with some things that I probably shouldn't mention on the air, and I won't. Just from other events that happened in the last time we met, and just certain measures that I wanted to take to ensure that I was asserting my dominance and we were going to get a home field advantage, and not really caring about who it was at the expense of. So that's all I'll leave it at. But I've told you guys exactly what it was that I meant, and I've told a lot of people. For those that know, good. I just can't say it because I'm probably going to get bleeped out. But
all right.
But that, again, that's for another time. But overall though, I don't know if you guys have had a good amount of summer ball experiences to this level. But where does this rank up there? Not just from a summer ball perspective, but like overall baseball experiences. Where does this rank up for you in your budding careers at this point?
Oh, for me, this is my first real summer ball experience. Going into my freshman year, I stayed local, so I knew everybody on my team. This year, I thought I didn't know what to expect. John told me his first summer ball. I heard from other players on my team who played for Utica, B. Hall, and Penny. So that Utica was a really cool spot. All the guys are really cool. They all had a great time. But personally, I didn't know what to expect. Being so far away, kind of not in the city or not really not seeing my family very much was tough. Meeting all the guys, getting really close to everybody. It's one of my favorite team experiences, meeting everybody. It's one of my favorite teams I've ever been a part of in my whole life. I'd say, if not my college team right now, probably second right there. Every single person was awesome. It was a great overall experience. I wouldn't trade it for anything.
Yeah, this was my second summer ball experience. My freshman year, I played out in the Hamptons. We had fun out there. Like the same. It's similar to all summer ball experiences are the same. You meet a bunch of different guys that you never think are close. You're never gonna get close. But then, Tim, personally, I'm not comparing Utica to them at all because this team was hands down one of the most fun I've had in a while, and one of the closest teams I've actually ever been on. And it's crazy because it was only 2 months, but like hands down, I would say probably top 3, and it's probably not 3 for closest teams I've been a part of and favorite teams I've been a part of. And overall, I had a great time, and I miss all the guys, and I hope they're all doing well now. And I can't wait to see how they do this year during their seasons at school.
And, again, we pride ourselves on bringing in not just great players, but great men, really, and, be a high class organization, bring in guys who have their stuff together on and off the field. And again, we brought in 2 good guys from Wagner in 2019, but in 2021 brought it to a whole nother level with you 2 doing what you did on the mound, oftentimes dominating, but, excellent throughout the year. And, definitely, again, help contribute to another successful campaign. And, you mentioned it, John, and, when you did your Blue Day thing, West Division champions in the regular season in 19, and in 2021, Central Division champions. Nick, John, thanks for the time. Best of luck with the Seahawks this year at Wagner. I know your hoops team is doing really well so far. Although a certain team who I will not name did beat them this year for their first L. But again, best of luck in the NEC, and it's good, solid baseball conference. See a lot of good teams in there with a lot of guys who you saw this summer in the PGCBL. And so best of luck. Again, best of luck in the baseball season. Hopefully you might, do well enough where you go to an NCAA tournament. But for you 2 personally, hey, just, keep that level of success like you did in Utica, and take it down to Staten Island with you this year.
Thank you, Tim.
Thank you, Tim. Appreciate it.
So that wraps up episode 13 of the Soxcast for this week. Coming up next week, I should say, we're keeping up with the pitchers, and next week, we mentioned him in this episode, but Ryan Figueroa is going to be joining us for the next episode. So for Nick Hanson and John LaPointe, I'm Tim Best. Thanks for tuning into this week's edition of the Soxcast, and we will catch you next week. So long, Blue Sox Nation.